there, welcome to my channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. And I thought I'd do a funny video for you today because you see a lot of YouTube doing how to speak English. Some people call it how to speak British, which is totally incorrect. So if you see anything about speaking British language, just ignore that video. They don't know what they're talking about. There's no such thing. But this is a funny thing about speaking English. And if you're already speaking English, let's say Americans or any other language that thinks they speak English, this is a very funny thing for you. So we're going to tell you, first of all, I've written them down so I don't forget them all, what the English say, but what the English actually mean when they say these phrases, and what foreigners think they're actually meaning. So let's start. The first one. The English have the expression where they say, I hear what you say. What the English mean is, I disagree and don't want to speak further with it. And what the foreigners understand is, he accepts my point of view. The second one. What the English say, with the greatest respect, what the English mean is, you're an idiot. But what foreigners understand is, he's listening to me. The next one. The English say, that's not bad. What they mean is, that's good. But foreigners think that means, oh, that's poor. Number 4. What the English say, that's a very brave proposal. What the English mean is, you're insane. And what foreigners think is, he thinks I have courage. Number 5. What the English say, quite good. What the English mean is, that's a bit disappointing. And foreigners think, quite good. You get the gist. Okay, number 6. What the English say, I would suggest. What the English mean, do it or be prepared to justify yourself. And foreigners say that means think about the idea, but do what you like. Number 7, I've written, English say, oh, by the way. What the English mean, the primary purpose of our discussion is, and foreigners think it means, it's not that important. Number 8, I've put, what the English say, I was a bit disappointed that, what the English mean, I'm annoyed that, and foreigners think, it doesn't really matter. And number 9, I've got what the English say, very interesting. What the English mean, that's clearly nonsense. Very interesting. And what foreigners think, they're impressed. Number 10, what the English say, I'll bear that in mind. What they mean is, I've forgotten it already. And foreigners think, they probably will do it. Number 11, what the English say, I'm sure it's my fault. What they mean is, it's your fault. Brits say sorry for just about everything. They often begin a sentence with, I'm sorry. What the foreigners think, why do they think it was their fault? Number 12, I've put, what the English say, you must come for dinner. What they mean is, it's not an invitation, I'm just being polite. And foreigners think, oh, I'll get an invitation to come soon. Number 13, what the English say. I almost agree. What they mean is, I don't agree at all. But foreigners think, he's not far from agreement. Number 14, what the English say. I only have a few minor comments. What they mean is, please rewrite it completely. And foreigners think, oh, he's found a few typos. And the last one I've put, number 15, what the English say. Could we consider some other options? What they mean is, I don't like your idea. But foreigners think they haven't decided yet. So there's just a few that I wrote down. It's my little book. I write down any funny things that I want to share with you. And then I got on to silent letters in words. Now, historically, silent letters exist because the English borrowed words from Greek, Latin, French, Old Norse, and many other things. With borrowed words, you can already speak and understand many Greek words, which I will go through in a minute. But talking of silent words in English, this is why a lot of people find English difficult, because spelling, there's random letters in there. And some of those words are hour, as in the hour of time. If you pronounce it phonetically, it's hour, hour, half, 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 subtle, subtle is how it's written, how it's spelled. Knickers is knickers, if you want to pronounce it phonetically. So people say English is phonetically, it is not. Knee, knee. Knuckles, knuckles. Wednesday, Wednesday. Autumn, fall, as the Americans say. Autumn, autumnum. February, February. Talking, talking. Walking, walking. Climbing, climbing. Knitting, knitting. Knife, knifey. Buffet, buffet. Ah, Blue Self-Reliance. Hello, how are you, my friend? I was talking to Mike about you today. Need to know an update on your move, how your move is going. Salmon, salmon. Yogurt. Oh, that's a tricky one. Yogurt. Gnome, gnome. Cupboard, cupboard. Wrapped, were wrapped. Scissors, skizzers. Honestly, honestly. Should. Known, known. Listen, listen. Receipt. Oh, this is a tricky one. Recipita. Champagne. This is a funny one. Obviously, it's a French word. Champagne. Knock, knock. School, school. Lasagna's tricky. Lasagne. Knackered, knackered. Q. Oh, this one's got several odd bits. Q. Knight, knight, as in a knight with a suit of armour. Debt, debtor. Ancient, ancient. And in England, regions are called shires. So you have Lincolnshire, but we don't say shire, we say shire. So you'll soon know if a foreigner is talking about regions in England, they say like Yorkshire, we say, and they will say Yorkshire. So that's another one to look out for. People who think they can speak English will pronounce what they say, and that's why spelling is difficult. So as I say, you can already understand and speak many Greek words. Did you know that? So, for example, these are real Greek words, but you know them as English words. They are not, they're Greek words. Historia, philosophia, anything archaeological is Greek. Philosophy, mathematica, obviously you know what that is. Physici, grammatici, astrologici, athletica, you already know what these are. Logici, politici, so you can tell where all these words come from. Crisis, problema, Asia, America, Africa, Australia, Europe, catastrophe. There's many. Bera, film, cinema, tennis, banio, pizza, bar, taxi, many words. Let me just see what Blue's put, because I'm very interested in Blue. Moving, let me see. Nothing is happening as yet. The Australian High Commission is causing issues due to the bad communication, etc. So until I get my passport done, I can't move forward. Good luck with that. I know it can take months, particularly to Australia. I think when we were looking at moving there, because I have family there, that's where my family are mostly, you had to fill in so many forms and purpose of going there and who you had relatives there, and there was so much, but we didn't even start filling in the forms. It was just like ridiculous. Blue says, we used to say a lot of those for fun when we were messing about. Yes. And there are many comedians that have done videos of those words and different sketches and many things. And then there's also a great one. Look it up if you don't know it. It's the Two Ronnies, which was a comedy duo in England. And they did a very famous one called, I think it's called The Four Candles. The Four Candles, and they did many sketches like this, but this is their most famous one. And they go in a DIY shop, or ironmongers as it used to be called, and he'd ask for things and the shopkeeper would give him things, but they weren't what he was asking for. So for example, the four candles, he was actually asking for fork handles for garden fork. So do look it up, Two Ronnies, and you'll see many sketches and where they did different things, asking for things. There was one in the baker's, I think, where he's asking for things, and very funny. But the Four Candles, or I think it's called the Four Candles, that's the one that's most famous as all. Blue said, just want to renew my passport. I don't need visas, or I think, no, because you have connections there. That's right. Yeah, so as I say, really funny. And what I was talking about at the very beginning of this, there is no one way of speaking, which is why there's no such thing as British language. It's English language if you're talking about the language, because there's different regions in England. They have their own words. You have Cornwall that has their own language. Obviously, you have Wales that speak Welsh, which is another language. But even in different regions of England, you have Mancunian, like people from Manchester, and many other dialects as well. Some people can't understand them, even if they're from England. So you'd have to learn a whole new thing. Tell me in the comments below this if you're watching back later. If there's any odd phrases or sayings where you live, there might be a funny saying. Blue saying that and the Blackberry sketch, both brilliant. Yeah, as I say, there's many good ones. many good ones of theirs. They're probably one of the best pair of comedians, I think, overall, that didn't need to swear or anything like that. Yeah, some very good sketches there. They were known for their funny sketches. So they also did every TV show. I think at the end they always did a funny song, and they'd have dancers and that coming on, and it'd always be a funny song as well. They were always quite good. Well choreographed and everything. They spent time on them. Blue says, I've been living with Tanny for 8 years. I still have to translate him slowly sometimes. Yes. And as I'm saying, if you've got any funny like sayings where you live. Now in England, when it rains, quite sleet rain for a long time, in England they say it's raining cats and dogs. In Cyprus, we have that same saying when it rains like that, but here we say it's raining chair and table legs because you've got that long sleet rain. That to me makes more sense than raining cats and dogs. Maybe one time I'll go through all our funny sayings we have here. We have some very strange sayings. So when you're learning a language, it's not always just learning the new language. It's learning all those, are they idioms? I think they call them idioms, those funny little things. So I like watching the American channels, as in YouTubers, and there's many things, just plants and vegetables that obviously people call different things. Like when I do my videos, I have to try and remember all the different things for different country. The tropics call things different as well. We call some things different. So you have to try and remember. And just basically something like eggplants and aubergines are the same things. And collards, some people don't use that word collards and don't know what collards are. So if you do know different words, it's sometimes good to put those in your videos. And even seeds, when I show my seeds, or I see other channels show their seeds, just the pronunciation of the seeds. What was the one the other day? Oh, chamomile. England, we say chamomile. And what was it when they were showing the chamomile seeds? Chamomile or something? Anyway, sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't realise that one was pronounced differently as well. So, yeah, just things like that, just hearing. And sometimes I say things and I know other people pronounce it different. So I say, or you might say, or as the Americans say, and try and put that in. But, yeah. Just pronunciation of, oh, I know one, I was showing dahlia seeds. Now, a lot of Europeans say dahlia, and my Australian friends say dahlia as well. But in England, I'm pretty sure we've always said dahlia. So I just don't like people to think I'm saying things wrong. Just bear in mind that there are different pronunciations and different ways. Oh, Selene, I think people pronounce that different. So if you can think of any words like that, anything where there are different pronunciations, then do put that in as well in the comments. I'd love to read things. I love learning about languages. I speak a few languages and I love learning about the language, and like Greek, with the Greek, the stems of the words. So if you don't even know a word, part of the word is from something, the stem from something out, like apo. A lot of words start apo, and that can mean from or to, that kind of thing. So let me know. I'm interested in languages, words, different words. If you're American, for example, and you know things I say and you have a different word for it, or the Caribbean have lots of different words for things they grow. So I just thought it was a bit of fun today. Do drop a comment so I can learn something from my videos, which I love to do. So I'm going to finish there for today, and I thank you very much for watching and supporting my channel. And as always, until next time, Meraki.